keep a lot of extra chemicals here, reels here with an AR-45 on it. It's a 12-gallon a minute gas softwash system. It's got the manual reels, an 18-inch with 5/8-inch hose, 12-inch reel, two 55-gallon tanks, and a 5.5-gallon minute pressure washer on it.
This is getting to that point.
Right.
If you just woke up and money was in your account, I don't think that you would have any motivation to do it.
Yeah, right.
And I'm not saying that you should enjoy the sweat and the grind, but like it's part of the process.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Austin Davis. If you guys have first tuning into the channel, welcome in. I own a pressure washing business here in Austin, Texas. I've been doing that for almost 4 years now. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome in. The point of this video is, you guys have already read the title. We are going to be meeting Heath Felps today, right here, okay? This is a guy, the skinny on this guy is pretty much, I believe 2 or 3 years ago, he started his business. And Heath, if you're watching, you can correct me later. But I believe he started his business 2 or 3 years ago. And essentially in the last 2 or 3 years, he has been able to grow it to a pretty impressive, he has a pretty impressive operation going down there in Houston. He's got multiple trucks, huge brick and mortar place. He's got staff, he's got equipment. He's selling and building equipment, and essentially he's one of the huge players down there in Houston. So, and he's in all the Facebook groups. He's in my Facebook group. If you guys are not in my Pressure Washing Business Owners Facebook group, link down in the description, get in that Facebook group. He also has a Facebook group of himself, for himself, called Pressure Washing Bros, I believe. So I'll link that down there. You can get involved with him. But I've been hearing this guy, tossed around in a lot of the Facebook groups. Everyone's tagging him, everyone's thanking him, everyone's asking him questions. And yeah, he's kind of like a mythical creature, I guess we could say, right? So I've been in touch with him over the last year, just kind of bouncing, talking business, talking about equipment. Sometimes I've had equipment issues, and he's been able to help me out with that. Guys, I'm excited to go down there. I'm gonna take a look at all the shop, look at his equipment, see what kind of equipment he has to offer for any of you guys looking to get into the business, or maybe you guys want to look at upgrading. We'll look at some of that equipment. I'll sit down with him, try to figure out what the hell he's doing, how the hell he's been able to grow to this astronomical, level in such a short amount of time. And yeah, maybe I'm definitely gonna learn some stuff. You guys will learn some stuff, and let's just go down there and have fun. He also wrote a book called Pressure Washing 101, the guide to starting a pressure washing business. I've not read it yet, but that's there. I'll link that in the description if you guys want to go check out that book. It's been highly rated on Amazon. And yeah, it's gonna have a fun time. Right now I got a 2-hour drive, and yeah, let's go see Heath Felps. What is going on, guys? So we are back in Humboldt, Texas? Porter, Texas, with Mr. Heath Felps here. Like I said, I was talking about you on the way here. This is a guy that has been kind of in my groups, in my ear for the last 2 years. I've seen him. He's getting tagged everywhere on all the Facebook groups. He's wrote a book on Amazon, right? Pressure Washing 101 Guide.
How to start your business.
Guide to how to start your business. A lot of you guys know him, might have read the book. I apologize, I have not gotten to the book yet. Maybe I can get a copy before I leave. But yeah, I kind of want to figure out what he's doing. He's got this huge shop here, and he's got one right there. Okay, he's building equipment. He's selling equipment to everyone who's looking to start their business or upgrade their business, right? And then he's also, obviously, he's in the washing business, so he has several trucks out there working Monday through Friday. So it's been on the back burner for me to come over here, meet this guy, figure out what the hell he's doing, what's working out for him. Because at the end of the day, I'm not too cool to learn something, guys. I want to eventually get to these levels, right? So we'll look at some of the equipment. We'll figure out what the hell he's doing. We'll figure out what's worked for him and what hasn't worked for him, and however we can curve the learning curve for you guys. Ultimately, is the point of why I'm here. So let's get into it. What's up, Heath?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, let's get to it. Let's see some equipment.
That's everything in here for the orders.
All right, let's check it out.
And then we keep a lot of extra chemicals here, reels here, engines. We have 3 IGX 800s and IGX 700. This is a budget skid right here with an AR45 on it. It's a 12-gallon minute gas softwash system. It's got the manual reels, an 18-inch with 5/8" hose, 12-inch reel, 2 55-gallon tanks, and a 5.5-gallon minute pressure washer on it. And then we'll come around the other side if you want to look at the remote.
Yeah, let's check it out.
We've got a high flow 1-inch mixer on it and the remote system. And the nice thing about this is, especially if you're a solar operator and you get to the point where you're upgrading your gear, you can put this on your trailer or anything, your truck, your skid. It's got 2 remotes that allow you to control this from the backyard. We put a switch on it because if the RF transmitter ever happens to die on the job, we want you to be able to still turn your soap on and off. But
so this is your 4-4 setup, right?
This is a 5.5.
Oh, 5.5-gallon setup. You're mostly doing 5.5 versus the 4. If why not, right?
Well, it typically at a belt drive or a gear drive. This is a gear drive. You see the gearbox,
right?
They pull water the same, a gear drive and a belt drive. And this is our budget skid. We're at $16K for this.
Right. So we got a 200-gallon water tank. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And then gotcha. And these are 250s?
255s.
255s.
And then a 7-gallon soap tank.
Gotcha. And the reason for the 255s, is it like a valve where you can...
They're linked, so they draw at the same time.
Okay, they do.
So right here, they're teed, and so the tee draws at the same time. And another option is, they're just a little bit more... these are newly available. Panhandle Power Wash sells these, and I buy from them as another vendor. I love the company. Trudy and Shane are awesome. These are the 100-gallon Slimline tanks, and you can see.
Really? Oh, check that out. Yeah.
Indented at the bottom, so they can fit in the skids better inside your truck.
Yeah.
You can link 2 of these together and have a 200-gallon buffer tank with these, or a 300-gallon. They're only 13 inches wide, so if you want to do that, you can get one of these shipped to you for about $600.
Okay.
So just a little more expense, but you could run a 100-gallon tank.
That's nice. I've never seen a big tank like that. That's so tight niche like that.
43 inches tall.
Wow.
48 inches wide or long, and then 13 inches wide. There's indentions on both sides, and they designed it with caps on either side, so you don't have to crawl in your vehicle to mess with it.
So you sell these? You distribute these as well, or are these mostly just for the builds?
No, these are for builds, but if somebody wanted me to order them, I could. Okay. This is one of our trailers that we've Raptorline. I apologize, we're so tight in here. We're so busy for the huge convention, we were building a bunch of stuff, but this is a trailer that we've set up with our lowrider ladder rack. It'll hold a 325-gallon buffer tank. It's got Raptor liner on it. If you just want this trailer from us, just like this would be $8,900. It's a high-end 2-inch tubing trailer, big Branch King. It's got brakes in the rear, so you do need a trailer controller. If you just want the trailer with none of the welding on it, and you just want us to Raptor line it, that's $5,400. The additions are $25,000. This is the next step up.
This is basically the same trailer with all the goodies on it.
Yes, sir. Same trailer. So this is like an altered version of our Texas Max. You've seen me run the Predators. This is a Predator 670 with a 10-gallon minute Udor pump on it, 12-gallon gas tank, AR45, and an 18-inch reel. It's got the remote system we just looked at. It's got the 255s teed in the back. And if you look at it from the back, you might get a better angle on how they're linked. Right here, yeah, you can see the T really well. We're just about wrapped up with this one. There's a T right here, and so they draw with drop tubes at the same time. They'll draw levels the same.
Nice.
So you're getting the capacity, you know, the full capacity. And again, you know, it's easier for us in a skid to use those 100-gallon tanks, but if you want it in a trailer, it's something that we can make. You have to support those tanks so they don't bulge. But they're very nice.
So is this one fully built out, or is it we're still working on this, right?
We're waiting on one reel.
Oh,
We have
gotcha.
a shipment coming in on Monday, so and the soap tanks are on the way. But that's it. She's pretty much done. But we love these things. There's a video of me cleaning a driveway, 4-car driveway, in 4.5 minutes with this machine, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, surface cleaning.
Yeah, if you're charging even $100, like I don't even know what your hourly rate is, but 4.5 minutes. Now I had to rinse it and then edge it. So say I was there for 15 minutes. I think a 4-car driver for me is $200. We really like it. This trailer right here, the only difference between these two, so this is a $20,000 trailer right here. This trailer is going to have electric reels, and it's going to have a Honda IGX 800 on it, along with the AR45 with a Honda. And this was 26. It's from Cedar Creek. We're building.
These look sturdy as hell.
Yeah, if you look at his welds, are like artwork.
Yeah, they are.
They're like
Goodness.
He is a guy that teaches welding around the country. He also welds for Lockheed Martin. He has an incredible facility up in Gainesville, north of Dallas. It's Nathaniel Ivester that runs Cedar Creek. One of the best guys I've ever dealt with, period. Super good dude. He just came out with a new line of mini skids. They're like, again, work of art. These are, if you're on a truck, we can build a 5.5-foot skid, a 6-foot skid, or an 8-foot skid, or custom flatbed stuff. We can fabricate in-house. Nathaniel will do custom work too. We just got to give him some lead time.
The lead time is not that much at all, 2 or 3 weeks.
2 weeks.
From what I've seen, the prices are pretty good, and the equipment is really set up really well. So definitely, if you guys want to get with Heath on equipment, definitely give him a call, and he'll be able to facilitate whatever you are looking for, or at least give you a better idea. So mini skid, you can probably expect to pay somewhere in the 15, 16.
This is our just 5.5-foot skid.
5.5-foot skid,
The
okay.
mini skid I priced out recently with a 12-volt and a 5.5 electric start and 3 reels was like $9,700.
Okay.
That was on a 48 by 41.5 skid, which will fit in a mini truck
Right.
with 255 tanks.
You're talking about a mini truck. You're talking about
Like
a Frontier or something.
Yeah, like a Frontier.
Yeah.
You know, the new Ford Ranger, anything like
Right.
narrow wheelbase, because most full-size trucks have 48-inch wheelbase. We take to the huge. We'll have pictures of it soon.
Gotcha. Yeah, so any of you guys that are going to the huge convention in Nashville in August, he'll be there. All the employees that he's got, all the equipment, the skids. If you want to meet him there, you can check it out. Meet him, check out the equipment. So yeah, 5-foot skids, 6-foot skids, really anything you guys want. It looks like you can do some mini skids as well for some of you guys that have a little bit smaller budgets, maybe just getting into it and don't want to go full bore with the equipment. He can facilitate that to you. And he's out of Houston, North Houston, Texas. So definitely a really cool option. All right, guys, so we saw some of the equipment and everything looks really good. So the main reason why I wanted to be here is kind of pick Heath's brain a little bit. A lot of you guys know he's all over the Facebook groups, and from what I understand, Heath, 2 or 3 years ago, is when you started, and now all of a sudden we have what we have here. So I kind of want to ask you, what are you doing that's working for you? How did you end up here? And just kind of take me back to the beginning. Tell me, kind of give me the quick rundown on how it started, and what's going on. All right, I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering where's the footage. So coming back to my place, I realized that the footage actually got corrupted. The first 15 minutes of film that I filmed with Heath got corrupted. So these basic questions, how you got started, what he recommends, getting into the business, leads, marketing. I found on YouTube on other videos. I'm gonna go ahead and insert that into this video. And then I have another 15 minutes of talking with Heath after this. So I'm gonna use some other footage I found on YouTube. Sorry, Heath, sorry guys watching the channel, but hey, we're still gonna get those questions answered, and let's get to it.
We started in the pressure washing business.
So in 2016, I was in a pool in Cancun with one of my friends who, of all places, lives in Houston. And I met him at the same pool in 2012. I didn't live in Houston. I was stationed in Virginia at the time in the Navy. And he said, hey, I started pressure washing. And I said, I'd done it for 4 years at this point. I said, why are you doing that? You're an engineer at an oil plant.
Mhm.
He's like, oh, it's really a side gig, and I have like a shopping addiction, and I want to, I wanted to like not feel guilty about my shopping addiction because I have kids. I'm like, okay, you're being a good, responsible parent.
Gotcha.
And so the next year he was like, I'm loving it. I've upgraded all my equipment. And, he told me I made $40,000 doing it 1 day a week in a year. And I only did it 9 months out of the year. And I was like, oh, wow. And so that like got the seed planted in my head. And as I got closer to retirement, I was like, what do I want to do when I retire? Because I'd already made the decision that I needed a break from government service. Like I didn't want to go into even the private sector or as like, a civilian government worker. Like I just wanted to do a different direction. And in 2018, I said to Aaron, I said, I think this is what I want to do. I'm going to dig into it. He's like, oh, that sounds cool. And so I had a conversation with that guy, and we're really good friends at this point. He's like, here, just look at my books and look at everything. This is what I use. This is what I do. And he sent me to this website, and he said, this is how I learned everything. And I said, okay. It was a forum. Took it from there. Probably took it to an extreme level, which is how the book came about that I wrote, Pressure Washing 101 Guide, How to Start Your Business. And that's really just a framework for somebody that's like, I want to do this, but they've never been a business owner. It's just a common sense approach of like, how to start your business, get an LLC, get insurance, do the right thing, those steps. But that really all started from that conversation in the pool. My friend still watches part-time. He thinks it's hilarious that we're so big. He loves it. He's like, it's just, he's like, it's mind-blowing that I literally gave you a website and you just took off at a dead run.
Okay. So next is, tell me how you grew into the business owner you are today. So how do you think you did that? You were able to do that?
Hard work, luck, surrounding yourself with good, smart people, a good team, good feedback. Really, for me personally, like this was my chance finally as an adult, because I joined the Navy at 20 and I retired at 40, to really push myself. Because the Navy will let you excel, but there's limits to that. There's only so much you can do, and only so much you can overachieve, which is fine. I mean, it's a structure. I really love the Navy, but now the only limits I have are what I set on myself. And so it was, how hard could I push? Like how much could I achieve? And it wasn't like we just said, let's go as hard as we can. We had goals, and we learned that by like being efficient, focused, having a plan, we were just crushing our goals much faster than we thought. Like our plan wasn't to have a second rig until next year. So I would say that it's really like every day I'm learning, like if you're not a better business owner today than you were yesterday,
what are you doing?
You didn't really learn anything. And it can be little stuff, it can be big stuff. I do a lot of these interviews, and I think that just learning and being open to like discussion, even on the internet, when people point out things or educate me or ask me questions I don't know, that pushes me to go learn it. So that is, all of those things help, and especially like if you have a team, like listening to my team when they give me feedback of like, hey, maybe we should do this, or maybe we should do that, or I've noticed you do this, and maybe you shouldn't do that. And like, instead of like that, like knee jerk, like I'm the owner, I don't have that, because I understood after 20 years leading sailors that feedback is critical. So that habit, when the team tells me things, I want them to feel like they can tell me stuff, because it can make me a better business person, regardless of who it comes from, or the newest employee or the co-owner. Like input is a perspective that you don't have. And if you have a good team with smart people with their head on their shoulders, that perspective is crucial.
Yeah, and then are there any challenges you can say that you faced in the long run?
I think when everybody's starting out, a lot of people look at us because we had the truck and it looked, unbelievable, and they said our budget was crazy deep, but we didn't start off with a big marketing budget. We started off slow, and the truck just marketed itself, so that helped. But like a lot of people start out with a trailer, and if you're starting out in the back of your car, you don't have all that signage. Like on the sign you guys put on our trailer, fabulous, that you made for us, really big, probably the best signage we have. I mean, the truck is its own standalone. It looks great, but so building your brand was tough at the beginning. And I always encourage guys, like, don't be too proud or scared to do a little free work or discounted work where you guarantee yourself a review.
Yeah.
Because once you build a brand, like you're a consumer, I'm a consumer, when you go look at a company, if I Googled, you know, Koi Chiropractic and he had no reviews, I'm probably gonna let that dude crack my neck.
Like,
But if he's got like 25 5-star reviews, I'm like, he's legit.
yeah.
Because we all know leaving a review is a pain. We don't really like to do it. Only certain people will do it. You're busy, and doing things like that is hard. So when you get your customers to really appreciate you enough to leave those reviews, it matters. So we didn't start advertising, paid advertising, until we had 25 reviews.
Okay.
So then it created synergy, and we weren't throwing money at the wall. It didn't stick. And I see a lot of that. Guys are like, I'm running ads, and I'm not getting anything. I'm like, well, where's your Google My Business page?
Yeah.
You know, where's your Facebook ads? You know, like, how many Google reviews do you have? You know, those things. And, like, my market's really competitive for Google ads. We don't run them.
Mhm.
We're only paid Facebook advertising.
Okay.
And then, you know, Instagram and Twitter, but, like, those are free, and the ads go to both. So
Yeah.
really, it was just, like, the balance of, like, how to get work. We door knocked. But, like, when we were working, people would hire us. Like,
Mhm.
today, the neighbor was asking this morning,
Questions, yeah.
and and I just gave out a card here.
Mhm.
Immediately, the guy was like, oh, can you get pine needles off my roof? I'm like, I can solve that problem.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to convey to customers, is that you're there to help. And then my personal opinion is that when I am educating my customer on how I can protect their property and make it better and cleaner safely, education is the key to selling your business, because I'm not salesy.
Mhm.
I'm just telling you how I'm going to do it. You take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Like, no.
What other tips can you say helped you market your business besides just those things?
Trial and error. Like, when I started Facebook paid ads, I used boosted posts, I used targeted posts, and I was getting no return.
Okay.
Well, I had a friend that said, hey, you should use, you know, a larger budget to pay to play. So I spent $150 on a targeted post. I got 0 interaction.
Okay.
So that was metric data. I didn't get upset about it. I just said, okay, this is not working. Facebook had this thing called automated ads. I'm going to try this. And I said, oh, I can set my budget. I tried $1 a day.
Mhm.
The very first time ever, I got interaction. But the benefit of the automated ads is it's smart, it learns, it will suggest that you change photos as you post more photos.
Mhm.
So if there's a photo that's performing really well and their algorithm thinks it'll do better on your ad, they'll recommend you take it from your Facebook page and add it. And that's key too. For your free advertising at the beginning, this is the most important thing I think you can do. I posted 2 photos a day to Instagram, and from Instagram to Twitter to Facebook, and those same 2 photos a day to Google My Business. So historically, once I got cranked up, I am at, like, I just looked it up last night, 592% more views on my photos than another company.
Okay.
And at the life for in the last, like, I think it's the last quarter, maybe the total, but the average company in pressure washing is 26 Google My Business photos. I have 312.
See, okay.
So that's free. That's free 99. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
cost you anything but time and effort, building the habit. So that's why I tell people, go out and do free work. Clean that driveway and get like 10 photos of the driveway.
Yeah.
Different angles. And you can post that photo once in the morning and once in the evening with different angles, so it's not the same photo.
Mhm.
Or like maybe there's a really dirty spot. Like, you got to be a little bit of a photographer as a business owner in this. You got to be able to take photos. You got to be an accountant. You got to understand how to run your business. And that's where a CRM, a customer resource management software, is crucial, I think, because once you do scale, it can't be like a notepad. You won't keep up. So
Yeah.
having that ability in the app, I can send estimates to people. I can send invoices. I can take payments online. It's all very streamlined. It's very easy, and it makes you look professional when you're dealing with the customer. And
You
then
gotta make sure you're
educate them on
there.
what you can provide,
Yeah.
why you have a value that they should spend their money.
Yeah.
Because our services are not cheap.
Mhm.
You know, like, we are, you know, trying to meet our metric, and our goal is to run the company at a minimum of $200 an hour.
So yeah, one thing with me is, like, when I'm doing commercial work, is everyone in the Facebook groups, everyone's so worried about, like, getting the pricing right, and then for me, I'm just like, I look at all the commercial bids that I've lost, and it's just because I'm bidding it like I'm doing it residential. And so but now if I just think about it and I look back, like, man, if I just decrease those prices just by, you know, 15-20% on each of them, and I was able to get most of them, like, all the additional revenue I would have been able to get would have been so beneficial to me. That's why I'm just thinking, like, man, so many people are trying to work on, like, trying to profit so much on a day-by-day basis. If they just look at it like on a scale of like 30 days, like, not every day you're going to be able to get those huge like those slam dunks, but just get what you can get, you know, because like those commercial jobs are worth way more than just the dollar amount you get from them. It's the experience, the pictures, and then the connection, and just anything else that can possibly go.
Also, one of the things is if you're dealing with a general contractor who's hiring you just need to understand that he is going to need to make money off of what you're doing. That's just part of what he does.
Right.
And so that alone will be an inflation on your price. Here's a good example of that. We were contacted recently to clean the outside of a building, and he was super secretive with us. Like, he was just like ballpark ball. He was like ballpark height, ballpark distance. And I'm like, I don't know, 2,500. And he said, okay, this is a great price, but I'm going to give you the address tomorrow morning. Okay, we hadn't agreed to anything. He gave me the address. I said, whoa, this is a 5-story apartment building. It's like 300 feet long and 100 feet long. I'm like, that's a lot. I was like, 4,000 plus a lift. He was like, really? I was like, yeah. And so we ended up charging him like, more stuff went into it, but it ended up being like $6,200. And I only sent 2 trucks down there, and we did it in like a day and a morning. Because like we ended up running a little long, and so we came back the next morning. We worked from like 8 to 10, and so it was a good day. I mean, 2 trucks, like really. I think we ended up working like 12 hours total. Like it was like a 10-hour day and then a 2-hour day, and $6,200. And I know that he made out like a man. He was really happy, so happy that he hired us back to do another $4,000 job in one day for a smaller area in the same complex. We're already familiar with it. We know where the water hookups are. So that's your theory. Is my initial inclination to go with my math would have had that job way higher.
Yeah.
But I was like, how long can I do it? And my partner went and looked at it, and he was very confident. He's like, we can do it one day. And I was even surprised that we worked there 10 hours and had to be there that long. He said, oh, we ran into some issues, but at the end of the day, for 12 hours, $6,200 is awesome.
Right.
It's awesome. And we got hired again because we came in at a good rate. We established that relationship.
Got it.
And he hired us for another bigger project that dwarfs those. So that, if I'd have went high, that lost revenue, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. So pretty much just focus on like, just kind of get down to like, what can you go out there and work per day that's reasonable? Because a lot of these commercial places, like they got budgets, you know what I mean? So just like, instead of going by the square foot or all that, just like, hey, look, this is what I can realistically do per day that makes sense for my business, and times however many days, and let's just throw that at it, because at the end of the day, it's not just, there is other benefits to doing it, the connection, and, you open yourself up into a whole realm of other different possibilities you can do in your business, not just residential.
Right.
So.
And I think that having some like reality about the situation is, it may be a big job, but if you can achieve it in 5 days, and you're a solo operator, and you can make, like $6 or $7 grand, it's over $1,000 a day, which is really, when we start this, that's what we see on YouTube, and you want that.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I want to make $1,000 a day. Well, you did it. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
And you only had to work a week. And in a week, if you made $5,000, that's likely more than you were making at a job in a month.
Yeah, no shit.
I mean, it's back to, you have to enjoy your success.
Yeah.
And realize that you have now made it. You made it. But I think as humans, we have this desire to like just keep pushing and pushing. And you're like, I want $100,000 in a month. I want 2 ponies so they can be friends at $1 million.
Yeah.
But the reality is, $1,000 a day is a good day.
Yeah.
Because your cost at whatever you're doing, unless it's very chemically intensive, is fairly low for what we do.
Right.
I mean, I'm very happy to roll 2 trucks out and make $1,500 a day. That's my goal per truck is $1,500 a day.
Yeah.
So when I go and do a job like that, I was like, this is,
we're good.
we're straight.
Yeah.
I'm shutting my trucks down to do maintenance because we hit that. I'm fine with it. I'm pulling a skid off and we're doing oil changes and having the bed ladder redone. Like, those are the things that give you the flexibility by landing that job.
Right.
And then the relationships are good because you did quality work for what he feels is value.
Yeah.
You feel like you got what you need. That general contractor feels like he got what he needs at a value and quality. He got quality for value, and you'll have a relationship. That relationship will land you other jobs.
Right.
I feel like it's the guys that get distracted by the lack of success, and it does eat at you. That's real. I'm not gonna let's not downplay that. But you know, when you take one on the chin, it's easy to be like, damn it, what am I doing wrong? Nothing. Not everybody wins all the time.
Yeah.
That's life. You only have one winner in a contest of whatever you're doing.
Right.
Every day you're competing with yourself. And some days you're going to win, some days you're going to lose. The days that you lose, some days you just got to forget about it. You got to move on. And all you take from that is what caused you to fail. Was it not having a spare on the truck? Was it that you came in too high on a bid because you had all these dollar signs in your eyes? I don't know. But like, you know, or did you not handle an interaction door knocking where you feel like maybe you could have landed the job but you didn't? It's all about self-examination. Like, what did I do that I don't want to repeat? And that takes some mental discipline. So I feel like that's not something we talk about.
Right.
And I saw a good post on that today by Daniel Gross. He's a very successful washer, 7-figure company up in the Northeast. Great guy, super helpful. And he said, you know, one of the things not talked about is that when you start this industry, you're not going to roll out of your house and have those $1,000 days. Did you when you started?
Nope.
My first 6 months, I made $12,000. I had a $40,000 rig. I had an employee. I was paying a salary and only making like $2,000 a month.
Right.
Her salary was higher than I was making. That's fine.
Yeah.
I chose to start that way, and I had a budget for this, but that's just the reality of it. It took me 6 months of trial and error, figuring stuff out and grinding on it, and then the next 6 months was $141,000. Key points there. I never stopped, and right about the 6 month point, I hit my 25-star reviews. My marketing took hold. I started Facebook ads, and it just went crazy because I had approached it like with a plan. I just didn't stop. You just got to keep hammering at it, and you know your market can change that. Your approach, maybe you got to go harder than I did.
Right.
So I feel like that, like you just can't give up. You can't stop, and you know, at the end of the day, $100 a day is better than no dollars a day. And I don't think that you should be embarrassed by that as somebody that's starting out. If my guys called me and we had a slow day and they finished their job and they were door knocking and they said, hey, we landed this job for $100 as a small driveway, I would be like, okay. Like, I just did a $6,200 day, but I'm okay with that. I'm not too good for that. I'm never too good for that.
Yeah. One thing, and we're gonna close it up here in a second, but one thing I'm trying to convey to people is because like it used to be really fun. I used to get phone calls and people would be like, "Hey, Austin, we got our web. We just started. This is the funny part. We got our website going. We got our Google My Business going. We got our equipment. We got our yard signs. Our all this and that. And like, but it's not working." I was like, "Okay, how long have we been at this?" And it's like 3 weeks. I was like, look, guys, you need to just, and like you're saying, like you did a lot of stuff for a lot cheaper back then and it was a lot slower. You didn't have those $1,000 days like you see on YouTube. And one thing about YouTube, guys, is it can look really good when I speed it up. I add music, I put a thumbnail there, and it looks really, really good. But this is a long time coming, and I tell people, it's like, look, enjoy the process. Like, you are starting a business for yourself. You're most likely a first-time business owner. This is a beautiful thing that we're working towards. It's just kind of, you know, getting our freedoms, getting our control of our income. And you just need to enjoy the process and not be so, I mean, what would you add to that?
Yeah, the wins aren't going to come right away.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, the process is getting to that point.
Right.
If you just woke up and money was in your account, I don't think that you would have any motivation to do it.
Yeah, right.
And I'm not saying that you should enjoy the sweat and the grind, but like, it's part of the process. I miss washing because it's enjoyable and there's like a huge satisfaction to clean something and